Have you ever wondered why your best ideas come when you're in the shower? Are you also wondering why I'm making this video in my bedroom while I'm in my pajamas? Bear with me for a few minutes. This video may be a little silly and stupid and whatever, but I hope that this gives you a little bit of value, even though it's strange and bizarre, as it has been giving value for me. A few months ago, I made a video on the nature of consumption and contemplation and creation. In that video, I said, consuming is just activates or it just use one part of who we are, our mind and our soul, right? Think about it this way. Think of a three-legged stool or a tripod. The three legs are creation, contemplation, and consumption, right? But often I've seen in my life, and what we've been doing as a society and as a culture is that we have chopped off the other two legs of the tripod or the stool, and we have overemphasized and we spend too much time on consumption. And when we do that, we find the entire experience distasteful. So when we overconsume and undercreate or under-contemplate, then it's like a short circuit in our mind. So we are not meant to do that. So instead of just talking about contemplation, I thought we could do an exercise where we actually practice contemplation. And before we get on to this exercise, it's actually a challenge. Before we get on to this challenge, let me say what I do not mean by contemplation. This is not some sort of guided meditation, or this is not an exercise where you're supposed to empty your mind. Instead, this is the reverse. This is where we are going to process what has already gone into your mind. We consume so many things every single day, through videos, through texts, through messages, through conversations. But then often what happens is that all these things go in, but we don't let them process. We don't do anything with that data that we have consumed. And what inevitably happens is that even the good things that go into our mind, they go into some sort of a graveyard. They go in and they become dead. So basically what we are doing is we are just consuming brain dead content, and we are going to change that. Contemplation, to put very simply, is reflection. We are going to reflect on things that we have already consumed, and then we are going to make sense of that. And as we do this practice of reflection, our minds may connect the dots between different thoughts, and new ideas might generate from our minds. A lot of things might happen. So in essence, contemplation is basically just thinking. I find it very weird that I have to sit and do this exercise on a very simple and basic human act of thinking. And if you're watching this, that we are in a time where we actually have to watch a video on thinking. We actually have to make a video on thinking. So that is what contemplation is. It's reflection and it's thinking. What we are going to do is we are going to let our mind process. We are going to let our mind speak. That's all that there is to it. So for the next 15 minutes, and we are going to do this in real time, for the next 15 minutes, we are just going to spend time with the thoughts on our head instead of spending time with the thoughts from other people's heads. And that's what we do, right? That's what social media is. That's what the internet is. We are spending time on other people's minds. So what we're going to do is we do that enough. So let's take a break, and we are going to spend time with the thoughts on our mind. So for the next 15 minutes, that's all that we are going to do. No distractions, no phone, nothing. So sit in a comfortable place like this bedroom. Again, the whole idea is that, our best thoughts, the most creative ideas and the most fruitful thoughts often come when we are in the shower or when we are in the bedroom, like how I am now before we go to sleep or whatever. And I feel that our best thoughts come at that time because we are not bombarded with other minds. Because otherwise, throughout the day, we don't have much time where we let these thoughts marinate in our head, right? Because constantly we are consuming. So we're going to take a break from that. Pretty much we are going to do what human beings have been doing for millennia, which is sitting in one place and not doing anything, being bored for 15 minutes, which we don't get to do in the age that we live in. So that's what we're going to do. And you might ask, what do you do in that 15 minutes? Well, again, let your thoughts speak. What comes to your mind? It may be a conversation with a friend. It might be a relational thing that has happened between you and someone you love. It could be a movie that you watched recently, a song that you heard, something that you saw in the store, anything. And let these thoughts process in your mind, and be bored with your thoughts. Be bored with your thoughts for 15 minutes. And we will do this together. Whenever you're ready, we'll do this in real time. You can pause this video and come back to it whenever you're ready. And then in the end, we are going to share what we wrote. Okay, are you guys ready? Let's do this.
All right, my watch just beeped, so which means the 15 minutes are done. Few preliminary thoughts. I just feel that this exercise that we did now, it just feels like such a privilege, right? Being bored with your thoughts without being bombarded by other minds. It just feels like such a special thing to do, and it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. That is one. And then let me share a few things that I have written. What was in my mind during this 15 minutes. Well, I could hear a lot of distant sounds from the window. A lot of sounds that came through the window was from a construction site, which is a little far away from the house, but then a lot of metal clanging. So then I started thinking, hey, okay, a lot of metallic sounds or metal clanging, the sound travels farther than what other things would. That's interesting. Then I saw the clock in front, the seconds needle moving, just kind of watching it go from 12 to 12. That was relaxing. That was actually quite relaxing. I was tempted to look into my watch and see how long is left, but they're like, no, you're not doing that. Oh, were you tempted to look into your watch and see? But of course, you can see the timer on screen. But yeah, it's crazy, right? That we can't even sit still for 15 minutes. What are the other things that I thought about? Well, there's one thing that I always thought or I always was fascinated by was to have my child in a shopping cart. When we do grocery shopping, you'll see they put the kids on the shopping cart, and well, by God's grace, we got to do that a few weeks ago, and that thought came to my mind that I'm very grateful that that small fascination or that small desire that I had was fulfilled, and we could put Amy in the shopping cart when we went grocery shopping. So I'm very grateful for that. So that came to my mind. And my wife and I, we saw the movie The Creator recently. Wonderful acting. And one thing that constantly, one theme which was like resonating throughout the movie is that no matter how advanced technology is, there is a yearning and a desire for eternity, which both the half human, half robot, the main protagonist, he had, and even the AI child, even she wanted to go to Diandang, the heaven version. So I was like, that there are certain spiritual, eternal yearnings that remain deeply embedded in people's hearts and minds, the sense of meaning, which doesn't go away with advancement and technology. And so the movie was well done, and I was thinking about that. And then some practical things. There is a lake close to our house, but then they've sealed it off. So I was wondering, how do I get to the lake now, because it's completely sealed off. And I saw a picture from which was taken by the James Webb Telescope recently of a nebula, which was on the Petapixel website, I believe. Beautiful, beautiful picture. So many colors, it's just stunning. I'll see if I can put that up here. Our pastor in church had shared recently that when God makes something, there's always a purpose to it. And when I see this picture, I realize that sometimes the purposes can be just beauty. Stunning shot of that part of space. And what else? I have international trip coming up, so I was wondering, a photography trip, so I was wondering how do I make most of it. But I didn't think of that much. I was like, okay, because that's a big task, so I'll keep it for some other time. And I have been having knee pain. Again, once in a while I keep having it. I can feel it when I walk, I can feel it when I go up and down the stairs. So I was happy with the gift of walking that I have, because if I live long enough, there will come a time when I won't be able to walk. So I'm grateful that I can walk now. And then I'm actually thinking, how do I put this video together, even though there is not much of editing involved. I was wondering, what's the final video going to be like. So those are the thoughts that came to my mind. If you made it through the end of this video of being bored for 15 minutes, could you please put it on the comments and let me know? I don't see YouTube having any incentive to push this in its algorithm and showing it to people because this video is boring. The whole idea is that we are supposed to be bored in this video. But if you have made it to the end and you actually did this challenge, I would love to hear what are the thoughts that came to your mind and whether this 15-minute reset helped you. And I've been taking steps to reduce my screen time, and I hope to do these reset sessions. It is difficult, right? Why is it difficult to be bored? Just the fact that it's difficult in modern times to be bored for 15 minutes says a lot. Anyways, thank you for hanging around and Happy New Year, and see you guys in the next video.